my favorite crops is sunflowers. Now, sunflowers are enjoyable because they bring such beauty to the world, and we love getting around them for photographs, but they're great for insects and pollinators. For example, we have a couple of bees checking these out, getting some pollen and some nectar from them. And sunflowers are a great source for nectar for bees. I don't see a lot of butterflies out here, but we see an awful lot of bees, so our native bees really utilize sunflowers. Now, sunflowers are kind of interesting in that they're called sunflowers because they look like the sun, of course, but they also follow the sun, and that's called phototropism. Now, when they're small, like the one I have in my hand, they'll actually follow the sun, starting in the east and follow it all day to the sunset in the west. But once they start flowering, once they get a little bit bigger than this, they're pretty well fixed to the east. So you got to remember that when you're getting photos, you don't want the sun behind you or above you or in front of you when you try to manage that. The other thing about sunflowers is as beautiful as they are, they only last about 7 days to a week. They start setting seed from the outside and come in. So as you see in this sunflower right here, we only have a few more days until it's completely, the center is done, and that's when it's going to be mature. And once it gets mature and the seeds start forming, that's when it'll start drooping its head. So once you start seeing the heads droop, you know that the seeds are beginning to form. Now the other thing about sunflowers, well, what do we do with the seeds? Of course, we all have had sunflower seeds, maybe at ball games and such, but sunflower seeds are very, very high in oil content. And maybe when you're at the grocery store, you may see sunflower oil or vegetable oil. A lot that is from the sunflower seeds itself. So sunflowers have a couple of purposes of direct eating for us, but also they're a great oil content. Now, as a plant physiologist, I love talking about how plants function. And sunflowers are very unique. Now, if you look at our major crops like soybeans and wheat, they evolved when our CO2 levels in our atmosphere were much higher than they are now. And they have a system, a photosynthesis system called C3. They're C3 plants. And unfortunately though, at low levels like we have now, even though they are going up, they're still relatively low compared to history, they're not very efficient. Where other crops like corn and sorghum, they developed more when the CO2 levels were like they are right now. Now, what does that make a difference? Well, when it's drought tolerant, the C4 plants are much more drought tolerant, much more heat tolerant. So our wheat and our soybeans, as the climate's warming up, aren't doing quite as well. Now they will, though, become a lot more efficient as CO2 levels rise back the way they were. Now this inefficiency is called photorespiration. And the C4 plants do a little bit different. Instead of having one cell that everything happens in, they have two cells. They have bundle sheath cells that are extra. And one of the processes happens there that makes them a lot more efficient. Sunflower are in between. They developed in between the C3 and the C4 plants in that they have the C3 pathway, 3-carbon pathway, but they have the mechanisms, the bundle sheaths, as a C4 plant does. So we call those super C4s. So they have the best of both worlds. They are very drought tolerant, very heat tolerant, but they also respond to different climatic conditions like a C3 plant does. So our sunflower is beautiful, and it unlocks some wonderful plant physiology traits that we don't normally see. They're one of the few that actually have this. So they're great teaching for everybody. And come out to South Farm when we're open for the sunflowers and enjoy them free of charge. Thanks a lot.